Hey guys, Jameson Redding here with the Road Trip Angler. I'm down in Lafayette, Louisiana, hanging out at Pack and Paddle, and I thought it'd be a good time to share a quick tip on the different types and styles of PFDs that I like for kayak fishing. Here I have both the Type 5 and Type 3 PFD from NRS. NRS is a partner of the show and I do work with them. But this applies really to any type of PFD specifically designed for kayaking or kayak fishing, and I can kind of show you the differences of what I'm talking about when it comes to a PFD designed specifically for that. Also, I'm going to cover the differences in an inflatable PFD and one that already has that flotation. So that's a Type 5 inflatable, which means you have to pull a ripcord or it's going to automatically inflate if it's that style of auto inflate when you hit the water or go submerged in the water. The other type is already going to have that flotation in it, and it's going to float whether you pull anything or not because the flotation is in the vest. We'll start by taking a look at this NRS Matic. This is the automatic, meaning that it will automatically inflate when submerged if the cylinder is in place. The cylinder I'm talking about is a CO2 cartridge that you see here. Now there are some instructions with these type of PFDs, and you do have to stay up to date and make sure not only are these not expired, but that this is in good working order, and you never want to go out without checking that to make sure that when you need it, it will work. And the way this would inflate is when you get submerged in water, it would automatically inflate being the auto, or you could pull this cord. There is also a way to inflate manually on this side with this tube here. The Matic would not inflate automatically when submerged in water. You would have to pull the ripcord or blow into it. One thing to keep in mind when wearing this style PFD is that in order for it to be approved by the Coast Guard, it must be worn. You must have a Type 3 life vest or PFD on your boat or watercraft at all times. This does not become a Type 3 unless you're actually wearing it. You have to have it on in order to be covered when it comes to Coast Guard regulations. But for that matter, no PFD works unless you're wearing it. What I mean is you don't want to be in the water in a sticky situation and not have your PFD when you need it where it's supposed to be and fitted properly. So just keep that in mind when you're taking a look at an inflatable style PFD. I really don't recommend inflatable style PFDs for moving water or places where you have a lot of current, even if you're offshore and you're having to go through those breakers or the weather could change drastically. Where I would wear this is in shallow flats fishing or when I know I'm in a small pond in a pretty controlled environment. So I'm still safe and I have this on, but I know if I go out, I'm probably not going to be in very deep water because I'm on the flats and it's going to be a lot more comfortable and cool. Moving into a Type 3 vest that already has that flotation in place, you're going to want to look at some different styles and try to find one that fits and that is comfortable to you so that you will be more apt to wear it while you're out on the water. This is the Chinook, and it's one of my favorite vests from NRS. The pockets become a place for me to store things like my cell phone and things that I need to get to quickly, like a pair of pliers or scissors. So it becomes more of a tool to me, and I have become very comfortable wearing it on the water, and it's almost something that I can just get away with and don't even realize that I'm wearing when I get off the water. We also have another one here, which is the Oso, or the different fits of them. So you'll see here the Chinook has a lot of pockets on the front, the Raku would as well, but the main difference is where the flotation is on the back. So when it comes to picking out a vest for kayak fishing or paddling, you really want one that's made by a manufacturer that designed it for that reason. And the purpose for that is that you'll notice all this is really nice and open on the side. It's going to allow you to have better range of motion, and it's designed for when you're sitting in a kayak seat. And that's also the reason you have some options when it comes to where that flotation is on the back of the vest. I like the high back because I'm taller and I sit in kayaks that have higher seat backs. So this allows for ventilation on my lower back, and it keeps the flotation above the seat of the kayak and keeps it out of the way and a lot more comfortable. Plus, this is going to be more comfortable when it actually is floating than one of the types that would inflate automatically. They each kind of have their place, and I do keep both of them in the truck, but primarily I'm going to be wearing this style Type 3 vest. I have here the Raku and the Chinook from NRS, and the only two main differences here are where the flotation is in the back of the vest. I also have the Osso here, which doesn't have all the pockets that the Chinook has. So you really can find which one is comfortable for you. And I like the Raku and the Chinook because I do like the pockets and I like being able to have my tools where I want them and things like my cell phone in those pockets. On the Osso, it's going to be a little cleaner on the front and you may prefer that. So trying these on just like you would test out a paddle, just like you would test out the kayak is really important. And even trying these different vests on when you're in the kayak with your paddle and seeing which one is the most comfortable for you. It's going to make you want to wear it and make it easier for you when you're wearing it. If you're shorter, you may want a thin back because that way that flotation is dispersed across the entire back of the PFD and it may be more comfortable for you when you're sitting in your kayak. So there's a lot of different options. You really want to find a PFD that is designed for kayaking and kayak fishing, mostly because the cut of the PFD is going to allow you to have that range of motion when you're paddling. It's also going to be cut better for the seat. And these particular ones are also designed for modern kayaks that have those external frame seats and those higher backs. Again, these are type 3 vests and they are approved when on the kayak, but they do not work unless you're wearing them. If you're going out on the water, find a life jacket that fits, wear it, and you'll be a lot safer and a lot happier if something happens and you end up in the water. I always say plan to get wet, plan for the worst case situation, and hope for the best. If you've got your life jacket on, you're going to be a lot safer and a lot more comfortable. And it is the most important piece of gear when it comes to kayak fishing, in my opinion. Fish on! For more tips, be sure to subscribe to the Road Trip Angler. And as always, thanks for watching. Road Trip Angler would like to thank our global partners for helping support the mission to get people outside and on the water.